Okay, so today my project is I'm changing the supercharger oil in my 1996 Buick Riviera. Um, it was actually pretty easy. All you got to do is unscrew that bolt right there, and once you get it off, it's as simple as getting like a tube in there and sucking out the old oil. What I am personally using is this long tube attached to this syringe type guy that I found at Walmart for, well, it was pretty cheap. It was a few bucks. I saw some other guys that used a siphon and they were just pumping away. I just thought that this was a better way to go. I'm not saying that my way is the best way or the perfect way. It's just, the route that I wanted to take. And the first couple times I shoved this tube in here, I actually put it in about 3/4 of the way, that whole long thing, right inside of that little hole. And I got, I would say, at least 90% of it out after just, pulling on that syringe type thing twice. Now, I've done it maybe a total of 8 to 10 times already, just because I want to try to get every single drop of this old, dirty supercharger out of my supercharger. So actually, when I'm done doing this vid, I'm going to do a couple more times where I'm going to shove this tube in there and try to get out every little drop. And just to show you, I've been putting it in my dirty oil container here, and I don't know how well you can see this, but it is disgusting. Here, maybe this will help show you. It's really dark. It's like, like a dark brown. And I'll tell you, anyone who has never done this stuff absolutely stinks. It stinks like body odor or something. It's horrible. And I actually called around to different auto parts stores, and nobody had supercharger oil. Nobody carried it. Believe it or not, one of the auto parts places I called, he told me that my supercharger runs off of my engine oil and that I don't know what I'm talking about and I don't need supercharger oil. Finally, I called a dealership, and I got right there that stuff that you see Delco's. I think it was about $11 and some odd cents per bottle. I bought 4 of them. The guy at the parts dealer, he said I only need 1 bottle of 4 ounces. But from what I saw on YouTube, other guys said you need like 6 to 8. So I'm going to take their advice. I think they are correct, and the guy at the parts department was mistaken. I bought a total of 4 because my plan is I'm going to pour 2 of these bottles in today. I'm going to drive the car around for a while, maybe until like my next regular motor oil change, and I'm going to change it again. Now, the reason I'm going to do this is because this supercharger oil has obviously never been changed in the entire 16 years this car has been around. So I just think it's a really good idea to change it out today, get as much of this old crap out as I possibly can, get some fresh stuff in, and drive it around for a few thousand miles or something, then change out again. Because I'm sure there's going to be plenty of crud in there that I'm just simply not going to be able to get out. And my hopes are, as the fresh supercharger oil heats up and kind of gets mixed in, hopefully the next time I do it, I could more or less get out the rest of that crud. And maybe some people will think that's overkill, but you know what? Just the way I am, I just want to do everything I possibly can to save a car. And, maybe I'm wasting an extra $22 or whatever on a couple extra bottles of supercharger oil, but I'd rather do that than destroy this entire supercharger. So that's my philosophy. So, so anyone who owns a 3800 Series 2 supercharged and you never did this, I highly recommend that you do go ahead and change this supercharger oil, because all it really costs you is 20 some odd dollars and some time. I mean, granted, okay, fine, you might have to buy a siphon or like this syringe type dude or something, but it's so what? What's the big deal? Let's all, take care of our cars. That's just the way I am, at least. So It was actually really easy to get that bolt off. It wasn't even on there really hard. So uh, this really just is not difficult. I mean, the funny thing is, I read the owner's manual and I thumbed through it, and when I got to the part about the supercharger oil, it actually told me to take the car into a dealer and have them do it because it's too complicated for a person who's not a mechanic to do this. Let me tell you, no, it's not. This is easy. You know, you unscrew that, you siphon the old stuff out, you dump it in a container, then you take the fresh stuff, you put it in the hole, make sure you fill it up all the way, you screw it in, and you're done. What is so hard about that? You know, you don't have to be a mechanic to do this. I am far from a mechanic. So, you know, maybe, hopefully this video will help someone out there, out that, maybe this will just give them another idea of how to go about doing this. You know, you don't need to take this whole cover off, which I actually had a problem with. I unscrewed that guy, but then there's like this little screw in the side. I really don't think you could see it with this, but it's this tiny, tiny little hex screw right there, and my tiniest, skinniest one would not get in there to unscrew that, so I was unable to take this cover off. But you don't need to. I was able to get the hex screw in there, no problem, with this cover on. So there's no question you could do it as simply as this. Just unscrew that bolt, siphon it out, and put the clean stuff in. So anyways, I'm going to get going here, and I'm going to complete my task.